Hi, this is Rob Seltzer, the Aortic Chef,
Mindy Seltzer, the aortic dietitian.
and welcome to this episode of the Aortic Kitchen.
And since it's holiday season, we will
Yes.
be making pâtés
No.
and hors d'oeuvres.
Yeah, so we're doing hors d'oeuvres and appetizers that are appropriate for holiday entertaining. Everybody's got people coming over, and we need to be able to make some things that are appropriate and able to feed the masses. But as always, adjusted the recipes and made them aortic healthy as well. So we've got quite a few things to do tonight. Hope we get it all done in time. If not, stick with us and hang out for the extra few minutes to get it done because we're going to try to do a lot. Mindy's going to make a salmon mousse and show you how to put it into cucumber cups or as a mold. Probably do both. I'm doing dolmades, the Greek stuffed grape leaves, and that's a vegan, gluten-free appetizer hors d'oeuvre. So they're made strictly with rice and herbs and grape leaves and olive oil, no added salt, none of that stuff. So they're going to be great. And then I'm going to do, 3 or 4 magical things with phyllo dough. I was in a Greek mood. But we're going to stuff it with some Italian things and do some cheese wraps and show you how to do a bunch of different folds with phyllo dough
Excuse me.
and finish with a little bit of dessert in phyllo as well. So let's get started here. I'm going to start with the grape leaves. Now, what is that all about? So I have some grape leaves here. They came from a jar. These actually are from Turkey. You get them in a specialty store. I have Middle Eastern stores all over Orlando, so I can go to pretty much any one of them and buy grape leaves. Sometimes you get lucky and your regular grocery store even carries them. This is an imported brand. They call them California style. So in the jar, this one jar probably says 113, exactly 113 leaves. So okay, and they're really packed in here. They're rolled and folded, so they're really kind of hard to get out of here. You got to get them out, and they just take it's really difficult. So it's like taking a big stack of paper and rolling them and folding them all over each other and making a big cigar, and then stuffing them into the jar. So it's a little tough, but once you get them out, some things you have to do. So this is what the actual whole grape leaf looks like out of the jar. Okay, looks just like a grape leaf. There's 2 there. So that's the other. They stick together real well, and they got little folds on them. So you got to take your time. This is not something you're going to do an hour before your party. Okay, these you want to make a day or 2 ahead of time because they will hold up really well. So you get the leaves out, and they have their stems. You can see how it's a grape leaf right from the vine. Okay, and that's what they do. So they don't waste stuff, right? They pick the grapes, make the wine, and on the older plants, I think they take some of the leaves off and they use those, makes more money per acre for them. And then they brine them and pack them, in these jars. So in order to use them, what you have to do is you need to take off these stems. These stems are not edible. Um, so you just cut right at the base of the leaf and cut off the stem. And I have a couple of here just to show you how simple that is. See, boom, those are done. Then you put them in the sink and you wash them, you rinse them. You want to get that brine flavor off, okay? And you let them dry a little bit, hang them out on the colander and let them drain. So I've got a few here and show you what we're going to do with it. So you take this and you make a stuffing. Now, this vegan stuffing, I think you all remember what rice pilaf is. And that's basically what this is. And I made this ahead of time because this takes about 45 minutes to make. And then those things are going to cook for another 45 minutes. So we're already way out of time. So we did the hurry up method. So rice pilaf, if you remember, really simple. Every culture has a pilaf. All it is, the basic pilaf is you take some onion, a little bit of onion, and you saute it in some olive oil in the bottom of your pan right here. Okay, so you put a little olive oil, heat it up. Onion, actually, it's almost 1 to 1 for these dough mods. So one cup of onions to 1 cup of rice, or a half cup of onions, of diced onions, to a half cup of rice. Put that in there, saute until the onions are translucent, almost clear. You don't want them to brown. Then you put your rice in and stir it around in that hot oil, and you let it toast a little bit, and you just stir it and stir it for about 1 minute until all the rice is coated with the oil and shiny. Then you continue like you do normal rice. So if it's 1 cup of rice, 2 cups of water on top, bring it to a boil, lower the heat to a simmer, cover it, and let it cook till it's done, about 40 minutes. This is brown rice, healthier, right? It's got a better glycemic index. It's absorbed more slowly, doesn't, shoot your insulin all over the place. So better to use our brown rice. It's got the bran. It's not a whole lot more fiber, but is some, and it's better for you. So brown rice takes about, plain brown rice takes about 40 minutes to cook. So put it in water, bring it to the boil, cover it, turn it down. I use on my stove, I turn it all the way down to 1 or 2 once I put the lid on, and it'll simmer perfectly. And you let it cook until all the water is absorbed. So that's your typical pilaf. Now for this Greek, for the stuffed grape leaves, what we do is we just add some lemon juice as well. So a little bit of lemon juice in the water to bring this lemony flavor. That's it. Simple, easy. Okay. The recipe will be posted, and it gives you all the step by step by step Chef Rob's easy directions, okay, on how to make this. Now, the next part is, so when it's done and it's cool, the rice, we take a mixture of fresh herbs. So this has dill, parsley, and mint. That's the 3 major Greek herbs. There's also Greek oregano, but dill, parsley, and mint, and some black pepper. And you just stir that into the rice, and you get a nice green looking rice here. And that's what we're going to fill the grape leaves with. Really simple, easy peasy. So if you've ever made a egg roll, or if you ever made a burrito, rolled one. Now, I want to show you something here. My wife is crowding me.
Yeah.
All right. She has been crowding me for 40 some years.
Mhm.
Um, all right. We put there's a shiny side and there's a dry side. The dry side has the spines on it from the veins, dry side up, shiny side down. Okay, there you go. If you have a really ugly one, all ripped up and torn, save that. And you're going to have several of them because you're going to have to put that into the pot. We're going to line the pot. We'll just say this one is kind of ripped up. So you put these in the bottom of the pot for once we roll them, we're going to set them on top of this so they don't burn on the bottom of the pan. Okay, here comes the easy part. We put it down in front of us, okay, with the where you cut the stem out in front of you, the rest of the leaf facing that way. And you put a couple of teaspoons of filling right above where you cut the stem off, a little bit higher, but about 2 teaspoons. Okay. Now this is a tablespoon, so that was plenty. Because don't worry, when we cook this rice is going to swell again. It's going to, even though it's cooked, it's going to absorb more water. So now take the left side or the right side, fold it over. Take the right, fold it over. Now take the left and the right, and now you got a nice little package, and you want to roll this as tight as you can. So you're pressing while you roll. Don't worry, it looks small, but it's going to blow up. Okay. And you can set them. Oh, here's a lovely, ugly one. Okay. Okay. Set them right in the pan. And you want to put them shoulder to shoulder, really tight, because otherwise that'll help them so they don't blow out, blow a hole in the side or unfold. So when you put the folded side down, okay, your seam. All right, Mindy, let's roll, roll, roll. Here
Okay.
we go. We only got to make 6 of them, 8 of them, whatever you got here. You did some leaves ahead of time, of course. So shiny side down, spoonful of rice.
Sometimes you have to
And
unfold them
and
more
right,
because
and do not go ahead.
they they sneakily you think they're all done even after you wash them, and then you find out, oh, there's a whole nother layer left.
Okay, and roll, roll, roll. But again, don't overfill. Don't be tempted to overfill because
Everything over.
they will just they'll blow out on you. Okay, so put them in there as tight as you can. Good. Glad I didn't drop down the floor because I would have just picked it up and made it again anyway. So wouldn't be good for
You
TV.
would not.
I know.
You did not mop the floor.
Yeah,
The
that.
dog did.
Yeah. All right. Rice. Fold it over. Tuck. Fold it over. Tuck. Okay. You can give it a roll if you want, and then fold in the left. Fold in the right. You get, this is judgment. If it's really big leaf, you get that extra roll, and then roll, 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 tight, tight, tight. Put
You
it in
might
the
get that one.
pan.
Think that one too loose?
That's way too loose. Yes.
Mhm, I did that. For Christmas.
That's why they called you a loose woman. See
Got
why?
me,
See why I
didn't ya?
talk about my wife? Yeah. See what happens. See the rice is not all together anymore. It's all spread out.
So, but no one's gonna really see it.
No, but it doesn't stay compact. So you do need to be kind of careful and pack it together in a nice little log. Okay. Then do your folding and rolling, and take your fingers and pinch as you go. Here we go. Nice tight. It's like rolling cigars.
I don't roll stuff.
No, well, you've got
Yeah,
experience rolling.
I've rolled leaves before.
Yes, you've got experience. I know all about it. Okay. So this has got one of those folds in it. There we go. Get that leaf undone. I think this is my last one.
Look at- really big.
Very
It's
little,
small.
nice little one. Okay. Up and tuck. Up and tuck. This one is got one more. Okay.
Oh,
Okay. Well, we don't have enough anyways. So, okay. So you line your pot. Now, if you're making the recipe I gave you makes 30 of them. So you can make more, use a bigger pot, and you can stack them. So once you cover the bottom with your dolmades, you can go ahead and put another layer on top and even another layer on top. It doesn't matter. This all works. Okay. Next, you are going to uh, cover it with water. All right. And wait, before I do that, let me finish the recipe properly. We're going to put some olive oil on it. Drizzle olive oil. And we are going to drizzle some lemon juice. This is just a little bit of lemon here. Everything's lemony. And if you like lemon, you can put more in than the recipe calls for. It's not a big deal. Now we want to cover with water. Okay, that's probably too much.
Reason you put them so tight together. The reason you put them so tight together so they do not unroll.
Right,
If
and
we cooked them like they are right now,
well, see, there's not enough here to fill the pot, and they're already starting to loosen up.
Yep.
Okay, so I made a full pot earlier. Now you have to create a little steam chamber besides a lid. So what they recommend is that you get what happened to my other plate?
couldn't tell you. In the
Yeah.
dishwasher.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll see if these are heat proof.
They are.
That's not the right one. Nope. Okay. Sorry about that, folks. You need a heat proof plate. Put that in your pot right on top of them, upside down. Just drop it in there. Okay. Cover it up. And that creates a little steam chamber. Now, I'm pretty sure you could take parchment paper and cut it and put it over there, and then put your lid on it. It'll also create some of this chamber. But this is the traditional way. Getting it out is a little bit of a challenge. You'll need a spoon or a fork to lift it up and get it out. Now, put it on the stove and move these out of the way. Got too much stuff going on here. And we're going to cook it, bring it to a boil. And the lid went. Thank you. You're going to cook them for about 40 minutes until all the water is absorbed, just like making rice. And you'll be able to see that because the water is going to bubble up over the plate. So you'll be able to see when it's all done. Once it's all absorbed, you'll notice your grape leaves have swollen and gotten bigger. And they've taken all that water. The rice has, absorbed it. and they're done. So you take your lid off and let them cool so you can handle them, and put them in a container, and you can put them away and save them for tomorrow or the next day. Okay. So we're going to wait. These are going to cook for a while. And is the right one.
Yes, it is.
Okay, good. All right. I'm going to hand it over to Mindy, and she's going to start with her salmon mousse.
Most people, here are horseradish, all the ingredients, finely diced onion, finely diced parsley, and lemon juice. That's the mousse, not true.
I
So
like to drink.
mousse usually has cream cheese in it. So I have 1 block of cream cheese. Did you take my bowl?
I did not.
And my mousse is hiding back in here.
Would you like the colander to?
I'm going to use this plate right here. White one. You aren't using this for anything right now, are you?
No. Okay.
I will give it back to you.
Would you like to drain it?
Actually, I'm going to do this. Here you go. Thank you.
Okay.
When you buy canned salmon, it's high pressurized, cooked in the jar of the whole salmon, literally. So when it comes out of the can, it's got skin, it's got bones. You should eat the skin and bones because that's where the omegas are, that's where the calcium is.
Like this.
And if you were my mother, may she rest in peace, grossed us out as kids, and she did it till she died at 91. She would drink the juice off the salmon. Yeah. Yeah. That's what we'd all do. But she goes, it's got all the nutrients in it.
Yeah, imagine drinking the water out of tuna, out of a can of tuna. Same
And
day.
she's right. It does have all the nutrition in it. So if you look really closely, there's fish, there's the skin on it. And because we aren't mixing a whole lot of other stuff in it, I'm going to take that off. I'm going to leave the bones in just before you put them in anything. You can see them right here.
Are you going to choke on them, Mindy?
No, I can crush them with my finger
Because
they're high pressurized cooking.
right. So the
You
bones.
see how they're just breaking into pieces? So smash them and put them in. I'm adding that to the cream cheese. Now this is pink salmon. You can do it with red salmon. And if you're very creative, for those fishermen out there that go to Alaska and catch their own salmon, you could poach the salmon first and then add it to them. Keep looking for bones. I'm not very fond of eating fresh food with bones in. I mean, I like the bones, but Rob's got to take them out for me. He's my savior.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he made me smell fish. And it was a big bone, let me tell you. And I was choking. And every time I eat smelt, I ask him if he's going to save me again. He says, no, once was enough.
What did I have to do?
He had to stick his fingers down my throat because it got stuck in my throat. The bone actually stuck into my muscle of my throat. So that's the first part. That's the tough part. And I'm going to add all my ingredients. Lemon juice. Horseradish gives a little spice. And my chopped onions. And the secret ingredient, which has been around for ages and we just found out it has more flavors, it's called liquid smoke. And liquid smoke adds that smoke flavor to food.
Is that just a chemical smoke?
It is literally charcoal flavoring. And you can get it in all sorts. This one happens to be
Hickory?
mesquite, but they make it in hickory and pecan and apple, so it'll all give that extra little flavor. So if you didn't want to barbecue and you just wanted to baste it, you could use it.
From what I understand, it is not a chemical extract.
It isn't?
They basically take the charcoal from the wood and they soak it, they put it in water and they soak it, and then they filter the water from the charcoal, and that's where the flavor comes from. So you don't have any, foreign chemicals that people are worried about putting stuff like that in their tummy.
So I'm a weird person. I have an eighth of a teaspoon measure, and you have to make sure you do not pour this over your pot when you're measuring it because it comes out pretty fast
It's very strong.
and it's very strong. So I'm using an eighth of a teaspoon minus a little bit. The next part is I'm just going to take it and mix it all together. You
And
can use a commercial stand-up mixer if you have it. I'm trying to do it with a hand mixer today, or you can do it in a food processor. But a food processor is going to make it very, very
Moosey.
mushy.
Excuse me.
You think it'll make it mushy or mushy? They won't hear it unless you're standing on it.
Hopefully not.
Okay, guys.
So a little tip on this, make sure you pull your cream cheese out early so it's nice and soft.
See, I can pick it up. I'm just going to mash a little bit, and then I'm going to slowly turn it on. And hopefully, I got a big enough bowl.
If you were really in a pinch, I mean, you could use a potato masher and a spoon and just until it was all well blended together, and it would work.
Blend well. You want to whip it up so it's a little bit fluffy.
Right. We would prefer it a lot fluffy because that's a mousse. A mousse should be airy and light.
And it is mixed.
Done?
Yep. So make sure my seasoning's right. I'm going to offer it to the chef while I do the next step.
Am I supposed to lick it?
You're supposed, whatever you'd like to do, dear. So the next part is making our cucumber boats. And we might want to, when you're done with this, you're going to have to chill it. So what we do is we take the cucumber, find a knife you want. And
use a little more seasoning, but
go right ahead. What you need. I did put pepper in it.
I know, but if you use a little more.
That's
Remember,
fine.
we don't have salt. We've taken the salt out of it, so we have to replace it.
I'll cut the cucumber in it.
And it can use a little bit more smoke on it.
So English cucumber, I'm going to take it, and I got a little fancy peeler. You can do it with a knife, whatever you normally do at home. If you have a potato peeler, it just makes pretty stripes down and gets some of the rough skin off of it. Then we take it. As soon as I get done with it, Rob's going to be nice enough and fill the bag for me.
Oh.
And then we're going to cut it into small pieces, about half-inch, give or take. Then we're going to take, and the reason you use English cucumber, it doesn't have a lot of water in it. So when you do these things, it doesn't ooze and fluids everywhere. And I'm just going to take this and do a small swoop around. So I have an indent where I want to put the mousse. And it's still solid on the bottom. And you have to be, with this scoop, I'm having a little bit of problem because it's a little larger than I'm used to for this type of thing, but I'm doing okay. So you scoop it out. Got a few more to do while he's adjusting. And you can put whatever flavor. I do have pecan nuts. I didn't put them in the mousse. We will sprinkle them on top, but I'm going to show you how to make it. Oh, thank you. You found the right one.
For you.
Thank you.
Okay, and your pastry bag is?
Right where you made it.
Pastry bag, real quick, another tip. So when you're going to use a pastry bag, these do not have a hole in the bottom. You have to cut it to put your tip in. This is a large tip, but you want to, it's like trying clothes on. Bring the tip up to where you can fold the bag halfway around it, and that's where you cut it at the base, okay? And then when you're going to fill it, don't just try to fill it like this,
It'll never happen.
make a cuff. So fold over the bag a little bit because you need you need empty space at the top in order to hold it. And now you got something to put your hands around, and then you can fill the bag. And I'm going to do that back here.
So take whatever trays you have. If you don't have any fancy trays, like we have too many, way to make it pretty is buy some doilies. You can get them in gold and silver and whatever ever you happen to like.
Okay, fill the bag. Don't squeeze it down too hard because it's going to squirt out the bottom. Okay. Now, if you don't have pastry bags, I'll show you something later, but I'm sure you do in your house. Take the bag. I'll let Mindy do this, but okay, take the top and you want to twist the bag so it gets tight. Okay. Put it between your first and second finger. A lot of people do this and try to do it. It's not really the way that you don't have as much control. Twist it. So now you have your whole hand over the top, and then you're going to squeeze with your hand and just guide with your other hand to make a beautiful little
Musla.
okay.
So,
Between the first and second finger,
well, first and second finger of my hand is questionable.
oh, she doesn't know where. That just means Minnie doesn't know how to count. It's okay.
Keep it up. I have a bag of squishy stuff I can squirt on you.
Yeah, you're start a food fight, huh?
Ooh,
I have the
yeah.
whole bowl of it here.
That won't be so good.
Yeah, that won't go so well. Okay.
So I'm going to do these real quick, and I'm going to put the rest of the mousse in the refrigerator as soon as I get this all done, and let it chill up because it'll help shape it better when it's hard. And I'll do a temporary one if it doesn't harden fast enough. Yeah, we can put it in the freezer. Oops, doesn't matter. I'm going to hide it. And one more. There you go.
Yep. You need more?
Nope.
Nope. All good.
So to finish this off,
You like your bowl back?
not right now.
Are you going to make a ball or?
It's got to put it in the refrigerator, so you can just put it in the. Oh, so I'm going to sprinkle some pecans on each one. Give a little extra flavor. I'm going to put the the mousse in the refrigerator so I can roll it. You can roll it into a log. You can roll it into a ball. You've seen the cheese balls. It's the same shape as that.
Old mold. Those of us that still have Jello molds.
Jello mold or copper molds, whatever you have.
Fish mold. Different
Oh,
shapes.
thank you for reminding me.
What?
I have to bring a fish mold up to.
Oh, to Detroit.
Detroit.
Okay.
My grandson's having his tonsils and adenoids taken out, or adenoids or whatever. And he goes, I got to eat a lot of Jello. And I go, well, do you want the watermelon mold or do you want the fish mold? He goes, you've got to be silly. I love fish. I want the fish one. That's what his mom said.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the first part. And I'm going to step this aside. You can line it with crackers, bread, a whole tray full of this. And then I'm going to put the mousse ball inside when we're done.
Or you can make it all into cucumbers or whatever you like. It's very, very versatile. You can even serve it as a main course. It's really good, or for brunch.
Bread.
It's really good, on bagels rather than, buying smoked salmon. This is a faux smoked salmon, and it's a lot less expensive as well. And so you can do that, and it's, your smoked salmon flavored cream cheese, basically. You can do that and serve that. Do lots of things with it and make it fun. Okay. Pecans.
Nope,
Your knife, your stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know what this was. Okay. All right. That's going. So what are we gonna do next? I got a couple of things to do here. Waiting on my oven to heat up. So first, let's talk about phyllo dough. All right. let's talk about phyllo. So phyllo is a Greek pastry that is very, very, very thin. It's paper thin. You've all had, most of you have had it. It's really crispy and crunchy. And how's it get that way? Because it's so thin. And you put a sheet down, which I'm going to do, and then you smear it with butter. And you put another sheet on top, and you smear that one with butter. Put another sheet on top, you smear that one with butter, and put another sheet on top and smear that one with butter. Then you start putting your fillings and roll it up, and you can make strudels or triangles, all sorts of shapes. So, but boy, that's a lot of butter, a lot of calories, a lot of cholesterol and all that. So we're going to adapt this. And it's really fun though, because you can make lots of different shapes with it. You can make little pie shells. You can make big pie shells. We're going to do triangles. This is the way it comes. It comes frozen in a package. Typically, you can make your own, but you better have a really big table.
A really, really,
And a big tablecloth.
really long.
And a big tablecloth. You should take one little piece of dough and you roll it out. So you literally, you'll see, I'll show you, you can see
I
through it.
mean,
So
I went to the one factory that only made the phyllo dough. Now this is years ago, like I was doing my internship, so we're talking a long time ago. And I got up 3 o'clock in the morning so I could watch them make phyllo. They had a table. It had to be at least 50 or 100 feet long. I mean, I was like, oh my God. And they took this piece of dough and they kept rolling it until it literally made it across the whole length of the table without breaking.
I need to move.
It was paper
Sorry,
thin.
just cut you short, but I need to continue here.
Go ahead.
No more time for stories. So you have, if it comes frozen, you need to take it out the day before, let it in your refrigerator and let it thaw overnight, or a few hours before room temperature, but it has to be thawed. And then if it's in the fridge, you got to take it out in enough time to let it come to room temperature, or it's so fragile. Okay. And then when you're not using it, while you're playing with it, you still have to keep it covered up or it'll dry out real fast. So I'm going to show you. You see how this is all folded together on top of itself. And so I got to get several. There's three, four. Here is one piece of phyllo. You can see my hands through it. If we do this right, okay. It's very, very, very thin, I'm sure. Yeah, I just have one. See how it's already ripping? Because I'm not holding it right. So it's very, very delicate. Now, if it rips like that, that's okay. So I need one, two, let's see, three, start with four. Eeks. Okay. That looks like five. There we go. Here's four. So fold it over. Don't just try picking it up like I did. Take it and fold it so it stays. You can't manhandle this at all. Okay. Now the rest of it,
If you're using it, and
I don't want
continuing-
no,
I
it's
just let me
dry,
explain.
not wet.
If you're continuing to wrap it, you can take a
No.
towel. Sometimes when it gets really dry, like I just did, because he said it was dry, I moistened the paper towel and squeezed all the water out of it. But that's if it's to the
She
point
puts that
where
on here. This is going to get all gooey and sticky, and
what
honestly, it'll be ruined.
uh,
So thank you very much,
if it's dry.
Mindy. That's why she's a dietitian and I'm a chef.
Yeah.
Okay. So cover it with a towel. That's what they tell you on the package. Follow the package direction. When you're not using it, cover it with a towel. So I would pick it up, move it over here somewhere. How about over here? I need to use more. Thank you.
Not a
Next to
problem.
me. Thank you. And we're going to cover it. Thank you. Okay. Now I got my four pieces here. This is a very delicate process, so it does take a little bit of time. And we're going to try to, I'm really pushing it with my space here, but we'll make this work. So now instead of butter, I would normally take butter, melted butter, and just brush it all over the place. I bought this. This is a nice little spray jar for oils and vinegars and such. You can get them online, okay? And I put olive oil in here and I have vinegar or whatever, but it has I can mist. You can do it slowly and steady stream, or it has a little pop up top so you can pour. But it makes it really nice. Keep it next to the stove. It stays nice and clean. Okay, so I've got some oil there. I am going to brush this so it's kind of everywhere. Okay, there's our first piece. And here comes our second piece. This is how you get all that flakiness. And you don't need to totally, you don't need to make it wet. Just got to have enough in here that spreads around. And now this is great with savory, the extra virgin olive oil. If you're going to do a sweet, which I'm going to do later, a little bit over here. You're going to do a sweet, use a neutral oil. Okay. Use avocado oil, use sunflower oil,
Like
grapeseed oil. You
like
know,
olive oil.
yeah, you can use a light olive oil, which has been filtered and all that. Okay, one more, and last one on top. Okay, and then flatten it out. Okay, there we go. Now I need to cut it, and what would be nice is if you have a straight edge. Okay, I'm going to cut it into long strips. I'm going to make triangles first. Depending on the size is how wide you want to make them. I can cut this into 8 or 9 for a smaller one. You can cut it into 4 if you want big entree size pieces. Well, that might work. Okay. Nothing's easy.
Okay.
No, it's okay.
If it dies.
I'll just use my hand, my vision, which is crooked as it is.
He's not crooked. His vision is crooked.
I did 7. Okay. Didn't do it. Now, if we want to do 8 perfectly, one down the center, and cut those into 2, and then cut those into 2, and you have 8 perfect ones. Okay. This is going to be we're going to fill this with a typically squash filling like we would use for ravioli. It's a sweet one. And it is, now, this is made with calabaza squash, which is right here. I don't know if you've ever seen calabaza squash. You can buy, they're really big. I mean, a whole calabaza is about 10 pounds. And you don't really want to, it's a lot of squash to cook. So they sell it in the store pre-cut usually. I mean, you can buy an acorn or a butternut, and you could use those. But I like calabaza for this because it's just a creamy, smooth squash, but it's not real sweet. It doesn't have quite that sweetness that the butternut does and the acorn. So it's a little more neutral, but it's got a really good flavor and it's real creamy. So you take this one, and all you have to do, I roasted it. So you're going to want to open it up, if I can do that. Well, actually, I will show you after I fill this because it's going to dry out. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Good idea. So this is and I did this right in the bag, just like our guy Josh likes to make the peanut butter cookies in the bag. After I roasted the squash for 30 minutes, I cut it into smaller pieces. It's easy to peel once it's cooked. Just, slice it up about an inch thick or so, lay it on a sheet pan, coat it all with olive oil on both sides, and bake it for about 30 minutes. Take it out. It'll have to be slightly brown and it'll be all real soft. Should be knife tender. Then you just take off that skin, throw it in the bag. I have some goat cheese in here. I have some Parmigiano Reggiano, and I have some amaretti cookies. Okay, which Mindy can grab some if she wants, and a little ricotta. Grab about that, and you put 1 egg in here. Oh, that's the cheese. I'm looking at the wrong stupid recipe. It's okay. This, and the cheeses. There's no egg in it at all, and seasoning. So it's nutmeg and pepper, uh, and that's mostly it. And then the amaretti. These are the imported Italian amaretti cookies. They're absolutely delicious. These are the hard ones, not the soft ones. Okay, you want to get the crispy, crunchy ones. See, and Mindy will probably eat that for me, I'm sure.
Or
Okay. So if you don't happen to have a pastry bag, I mean, you can take a spoon and just put a little dollop on here, but I was talking about that earlier. Take your sandwich bag, cut off the end, the corner. Now you have a pastry bag. And you can even do this. There's another little trick that you can do where you take it and you take a second bag and cut the corner, put the pastry tip in it, then take this bag, cut the corner, and put it into the other bag inside the pastry tip. Because once this is filled, you can't get the pastry tip in there. Or if you're just making little bits like I am, you don't need a pastry tip. This only needs like a teaspoon, if that. Okay. You don't need a lot of filling. Okay. Now, what are we going to do? We're going to start rolling triangles. So we take all four pieces and you fold it. Let's see, this is a little bit high. So you fold it over. See, make a triangle. And this will come together, then fold it up. Now you see how there's a triangle fold forming. Then we fold that triangle over on itself, then fold again, then fold again, and the final fold. Okay. Now you can spray this again with the olive oil to make sure that last fold fits. You're going to want them all to.
try to do this one. It's a little
Okay.
overfilled, so I'm experimenting.
Okay.
Doing it a little looser.
Okay. And you put them on a sheet pan, a cookie sheet, which I forgot to pull out.
I have a feeling this one is going to explode.
Okay. We have a piece of parchment here. Yes. Right here. And you start laying them on the parchment. Okay.
You gotta wet this one.
Yeah, I can do it on the.
Okay. These are actually drying out already. Here, please.
Okay. Never too much oil. Okay. So let's get them on here. Keep rolling and just set them to the side. And then and put your fold side down. Okay. Bring it to the front, over, up. Yeah, I could use a little bit more. Okay. Fold, 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 fold. You work in a hotel kitchen or a caterer like I was, you can make 1,000 of these at a time for parties. Okay. Got it, Mindy? Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Folding, 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 folding. Thank you. Put it down. Quick. There we go. You do want the outside to be, now if you want to have a little flavor, maybe you want to butter the outside. Okay. Just so you don't have some of that butter flavor, but not like you did it on all four sheets. You can cut back because we don't have to totally deprive ourselves of everything. Okay. It's pretty good. Yep. I did the other sides. Okay. So there's that. Okay. Where'd my towel go? Okay. There's number one. We're going to do another fill. And this one, I'm going to take another 4 sheets. They say as many as 9 sheets for this one, but I think we're better off just doing 4.
fold over.
Someone's
maybe.
at the door.
Maybe it was Santa. He's already gone.
Yeah, we got to do this long way. I'm going to wrap a piece of cheese. So this is the one that takes like 9 pieces, but I have a really small piece of cheese, so I think I'll get away with maybe 4.
Fold them.
Yes, so
Are you spraying and folding?
yes, I am.
If they tear a little bit when you're doing multiple layers, it'll be okay. You just want to make sure the outside's where it belongs.
Okay, so this is the long way. Fold it in half. Okay, so I'm gonna do a brie. Okay, and this is the way to wrap it so that it doesn't go apart and it looks really pretty and it's all nice and crispy and perfect.
Yummy and delicious.
But I did a really small piece, so normally if you did like the regular wheel you buy at Costco or something or at Aldi or wherever, and it's the I think it's about a 14 ounce or something like that, or a pound, 1.1, half a kilo,
That one's a half a kilo.
and you can do that. Okay. No?
No?
So
Okay.
we're going to do, if you have 8 or 9, so really need to,
Need some more.
I may see.
One.
Yeah, probably one more maybe. So you overlap just in the center a little bit, maybe a third of it. Okay. I'm going to need 2 more when I'm done anyways. Fold this one, quick and easy. Okay. See how that is? 6 would be better, but it's okay. I have a really small piece of cheese. Here's a wheel of brie. So you put that in the center. Okay. Now one more sheet, please, before you put it away. See what I'm going to do with that. And this one, okay, there's the towel right here to. I'm going to fold again. I'm going to fold it again. Now, you don't have to do it like that, but so covered it completely. Okay. See how I did that? You can take 2 pieces and go make a T out of it across. But this is so small, one worked. Now we just take our other pieces. Oh, that's right. Oh, Mindy, I forgot.
What would you do without me?
I don't know. I'd be
Not
able to.
open the jar.
Right. Excuse me. Opening jars is a trouble. Here we go. This is some sour cherry jam. You can put vegetables on here. I used to do peppers, things like that. You can do marmalade, jams,
Big jam.
fruit, but put a little bit of little fruit on top here. So that's going to bake into it, make it nice and sweet. Now we'll put our little top on it. Okay. And we start folding and folding and
Time for the gourmet
folding,
dinner.
bringing it all together. Now this is going to be one heck of a big piece of pastry.
You can cut some of it off.
I could, you're right, because I made it really small. So.
But it is pretty tall too.
It's all right.
And I'm about to make the gourmet dinner for the dog.
Okay. Got a little extra here, a little waste. Okay, so now it's over. Okay, you're going to spray this again or butter it. Tuck it all together, nice and tight. I really should have. I wanted to use a smaller piece of cheese. I don't. We're not going to eat it all, and I really hate the waste, so I didn't do the whole big wheel, which is how I wrote the recipe. But
I'm gonna
okay, need a last minute
measure
adjustment
it.
there. Okay, so this can go on my tray as well. You bake these at 350. That cheese could take a little bit longer. Excuse me. Now we're gonna do one more set. I'm gonna make a little dessert for you with the same puff pastry. But look at this. I got some pieces already. Isn't that nice? Again, I can take these. Really, a 2 by 2 piece would be plenty, but let's do a couple here uh, with this. So I made a little riff. If you ever had baklava, right? That's the Greek pastry with all the walnuts and the butter and the cinnamon, the honey in the center in layers of phyllo dough. Okay. Well, I didn't really want to go to that. Then you make a syrup and you coat it. So I'm just doing kind of a simple, easy, I guess they would call this a head. Okay.
Oh, I
So
hate that word.
I hate it too. So I took some nuts, like walnuts, and I put them in honey, put a little bit of oil in there because I don't want the honey to get hard. So it's really and some cinnamon. These are things that are inside, typical baklava. And we're going to put no, I already did. Put a nice spoonful in here. It's be a nice bite. This one will be a little bit bigger. Okay. So this is a purse, okay, or a beggar's purse. So what we do with this, and I'm going to have a second one. Now I do typically brush these now, the edges, not with oil, but with a little bit of water. The corners. We're going to bring the corners up. And you bring the 4 corners, the opposite corners together, pinch them, pinch them, and pinch them. Okay. Those are a little bit big, really big. The next one I'm going to cut down a little bit. There we go. Really, 2 by 2 is a good size. So this one's now these you have to put in the freezer for 10 minutes. So we can pop the other ones in the oven while we wait
Okay.
because that'll keep the dough from separating. Okay.
Yes, sir. 10 minutes, you said?
Well, we're just gonna watch them until they get really brown and crispy. The cheese it could take a lot longer than the squash. Now, this one I did a little bit different. This is nuts that have been soaked. I was doing bourbon and brown sugar, but we're doing since I did Southern Comfort on our last show. We made that hot, comfortable cider. I had that laying around, so I soaked these in Southern Comfort and brown sugar all day, so they're all nice and moist and soaked in that beautiful little whiskey, flavored whiskey, and it'll be kind of like a bourbon pecan pie. So I'm gonna put a few chocolate chips on there and have those melt in with the pecans. Don't need too many. Remember, this is a bite. Someone really should be able to just pop this into their mouth, one bite, because you're not going to try to bite it in half or anything. Water, okay, keep that together. And just like the other one, bring up our corners.
Think we could tie it with the.
No, I don't want to try to do the tie. No, you can't tie it with more pastry. That will not hold. You take the 4 corners and just Pinch them together if you can. This one is ripping up like mad. Okay, see, I got too much stuff in here. That's what the problem is. Well, that's the problem. It's got too much filling. Okay, but I can twist it and get it together. I'm
Yeah,
twisted
twisted.
and put it back. That's not big enough to do one. Maybe one pecan.
No, I was gonna use it to put on the outside of that.
Oh, no, it's all right.
Right now.
Okay, so let's do one more. Since
Okay.
that one didn't work too well, I need one more sheet of pastry. Oh my goodness, we're already 7 o'clock
I
almost.
know. I'm gonna.
We're
use this
gonna go
before it's
over.
ready. While you're getting that, honey.
Okay, so one more
So
piece.
with the salmon, because I had the diced pecans, I'm adding the parsley to it, and I'm going to stir it all together, and then I'm going to roll the rest of the mousse in it and make a ball out of it.
Okay. Try this again. Okay. Now I just put a little less in. I was talking about bourbon and stuff, and I get excited. So just a little handful of nuts here. We don't need a ton. There we go. Let's see if we can make this work. I do these all the time, but sometimes under the pressure of the hot lights in this massive studio that we work out of. Chocolate chips. Another one. And let's try this again, huh? Okay.
And what are you doing with the little ones? The puff pastry?
I'm doing the
Cups?
cheese. It'll take me 3 minutes.
Okay. While you're doing that, getting that together,
And show them you're finished.
I'm
So
going
here
to
we
roll
go.
it
1,
real
2,
quick.
3, 4. See, now that's a much nicer little purse. A little wet. There we go. There's a nice one. Should be a little square. Pinch it together and pop in the freezer. Okay.
So I'm going to take this away. You could even put the salmon mousse in the pastry if you wanted to.
That was not
So I took the pecans and the parsley, mixed them together.
right.
I chilled this in the freezer. I like it a little colder than this, but for the sake of time. If you want a log, you roll it like a log. If you want a ball, just do what I'm doing now. And it gets all nice and covered. And you put it back in the refrigerator till just the party time. And I'm going to take this and find a plate for it because it's being ornery on me. And we'll just take the plate, put it on the plate, and then I'm going to put it in the freezer so it hardens a little bit more. The reason I dirtied another plate is because I have a small freezer. Probably going to go about 10 minutes over today.
Okay. Now those dolmades are done, and this is what the finished product. I'll show them to you in a minute. Okay, looks like. You'll pop those out eventually. Okay, are you done here?
I am.
Okay, need my space back.
As soon as I move your stuff so I don't ruin them.
Okay. Last but not least, and this is really a lot easier than you think. We're going to have a savory cheesecake. All right, cheesecake. Oh my gosh, what do you think? Cheesecake, okay? So we got savory cheesecake. So it's basically the same as a regular cheesecake, but this is cream cheese, ricotta cheese, and goat cheese with herbs, okay? I've got fine herbs, which is really anything, no, over here. Um, yeah. So fine herbs in the French term is any mixture of herbs you really want. So I use parsley, dill, thyme, and I had a couple basil leaves lying around, so I use a couple of those in there. You can put anything else that you like. So it's cream cheese, goat cheese, ricotta cheese, some lemon zest, okay, and all the herbs, a little bit of black pepper. Anything? Did I leave anything out? And one egg, because
You need half.
it's about 12 ounces, 10 ounces of cheese.
Just the egg white.
No, thank you, honey.
Okay. Just checking. Okay, I'll get you some more food.
And this has been out all day, so you just have to mix this up, and this is pretty soft, so I think I can really do it with a spoon. Okay,
Mm,
we'll
much
see.
faster.
I would probably be able to use that mixer that Mindy used would be a better idea.
You want the whip or do you want
No, the
one?
blades are fine. I'm almost there anyways. In the egg mixed in. It seem a little soft, but it's as cheesecake, so it will set up
There you go.
once you have it ready. Okay, thank you. We're just gonna whip it until it's smooth. If there's a few little lumps, it's not a big deal. They will melt. There we go. Okay. A couple of cream cheese lumps or whatever will melt in the oven. Now I can do it two ways. I did make little minis earlier today. I took refrigerated pie dough from the grocery store, from the refrigerated aisle. Pulled that out. It's a 9-inch circle for making pies. I rolled it out just a little bit, and then I took a little cookie cutter and I made little pieces to go in here, and I pre-bake them. You want to prick them with a fork, and they went in according to the directions, went in a 400-degree oven for about 10 minutes. Now
If
I'm
you have
going to,
marbles, tell them.
yeah, you can put beans in there. Now you only need like half a teaspoon to go into each one of these. So I got a lot of batter, but don't worry about that. I'm going to fix that.
How long is that going to take to cook, dear?
These will take about another 10 minutes.
Okay.
Hopefully, if we can wait. If not, I'll post pictures. When they're done, I will post pictures online in the Aortic Hopes page, on the support page. And maybe we'll also post some pictures on the caregivers page. Okay, we'll do all this. So we don't want to keep you here for an hour and a half or anything. Now these are going to puff up, so you don't have to fill them all the way up. They're going to puff. There's some air in there, and all that moisture from the egg is going to make it blow up. These are really good. People are a little surprised because they think it's cheesecake, but then bam, it's got herbs and stuff, and it's savory. So it's really good. I do it for parties. I do it on cheese trays, which is what I'm going to do with the rest of this. I'll show you in 2 seconds and quickly how easy it is to make. Again, get all those cheeses out early. I've had that sitting, from the afternoon. Not a problem with the cheeses. It was all covered, but you do need them soft in order to get this going. Okay, so we got these filled. Okay. Ooh, a little bit more in here. Okay, I'm gonna be too much of a perfectionist. Pop them in the oven for 10 minutes or so. These are the other pastries are just about done. Now, so I got all this batter. What else can we do? Well, here's a little one, but you can make a cheesecake, a regular cheesecake out of it. Use your spring form. I like to use regular cake pans. I got some breadcrumbs to make a crust. To spray it with my favorite olive oil sprayer all around. Now, typically I put a little piece of paper underneath here, okay, so that I can get this out really easy, which I really should do because it's going to stick and I'll never get it out. So I do need a little piece of paper. This will take another 1 minute.
While you're doing that, you want me to show the appetizer? Ready?
And just be able to put them all up here at once.
I will put this in the fridge and let it chill some more.
So I'm going to cut this into pieces. I have a full piece of parchment paper. I'll show you the easy way to do this. I only need a quarter sheet because that's to be more than enough. So what do I fold it in half and just run my paring knife, my nice sharp paring knife in the middle here. Oop, no, I'm not done with that yet. And just slide it up and cut it. Now, if you want to make you need a round piece of paper to go in the bottom. So it's like I don't need that extra piece. Remember how you made? Oh man, I'm just having trouble here tonight.
Like some help.
Nope. There we go. Just make your triangle and keep folding your triangle. Okay. On the fold. Okay. If I'm going, there we go. Okay. You got it all on the fold. You made these. Put it in the middle, to the outside. See what you got. Give it a cut. Boom, boom, boom. Open it up, and voila, you got a perfect circle.
He's going to make snowflakes for his next
Yeah, it's like
show.
making snowflakes. Exactly. Put that in the bottom so it sticks. Now, where'd you go with my breadcrumbs?
Right here.
Thank you. I'm just gonna mix this right in the bowl. Layer of breadcrumbs. Dog. Some olive oil. I would normally mix this in a bowl. Moisten it up nice. You can put some pepper in there, some more herbs. Get it all nice and sticky. Press it in. Okay. And we're doing this. Okay. It's easier to do this in the bowl first. Okay. But we're making adjustments. Okay. And then put your batter right on top. Again, you don't need to fill it. Doesn't need to be 6 inches high. Drop
You're
it.
not putting that in Morty's bowl, are you?
We're going to put it in the oven and bake it just like we would a regular cheesecake. Then when you take it out, because of the paper in the bottom, you put it on your burner for a second, melt that layer of olive oil between the paper and the metal, and just turn it over, it falls right out. Okay. So I guess I'll bake this off anyways for tonight. These are done. Fine, thank you. You can wrap that up and put it back in the box. Hey.
I know, Mort.
I had a platter here. Here we go. Hot.
I know, puppy.
These are really hot.
Why? I'm
Right.
coming, baby.
Burning my fingers.
Mort decided it's dinner time. The food's
Second
getting
dinner.
cold.
We already gave it to him once.
Yeah, well, you didn't put a pillow in there, did you?
No, the one you just made him, I thought.
I know. First course wasn't enough.
Right. So, putting these on the tray. Nice little squash bites. Now these with that little bit of amaretti in there, they got a little bit of a sweet note to them. I'm putting the pea back in for another couple minutes, so that I'm sure that's nice and melted. Okay, and I will post those desserts later. Okay, here we go. Now I'm done with that, and this will go over here. Um, you can garnish those. I have some sage, some fresh sage. Throw that on there, or really either way. You can look it up on YouTube or whatever. But you get a little pan with some oil in it, and just get it nice and hot. Not much. I mean, just quarter inch of oil, and drop a sage leaf, and it'll fry in about 15 seconds.
And it's
You take it out, and
delicious.
it's crispy and fragrant and lovely. So it makes a real nice little garnish. But we can just put a few of these little sage leaves on top. Make that pretty. I love fresh sage. I can't stand dried sage. Taste, like they used to put in stuffing and such, a poultry stuffing mix,
Yep.
poultry seasoning. Ugh, can't
You
stand it.
turned me off tarragon for a lifetime.
Yeah, okay. So where are we, Mindy? We got it all here?
I think we do. We
Okay.
have the appetizers, the dolmades, the salmon loaf, salmon cucumbers coming out.
Okay. And we have some pastries.
Here's our finished salmon
Excuse me.
mousse.
Got to make room for everybody.
I know.
Okay. That's really big. Josh, I'm going to mess you up and move the camera for a second. Okay. So we can see
Everything. I can lift it up.
everything.
The dolmades.
Right. Some lemons. Lovely, perfect garnish. Our salmon cucumber cups with more smoked salmon spread. So, you put lots of bread and crackers, celery, more cucumbers, anything. And our pastry bites, our phyllo bites with squash. Would you like to try one of these, Mindy?
Oh, you can try that. I'm going to try
These
one
are
of the
hot.
dolmades.
These are quite hot.
These
So,
can be served hot or cold.
okay.
Hmm.
I just want you to see. You can hear that, but there is the nice hot filling inside. And super crispy.
I didn't save you the other half of the dolmade.
Oh, that's okay. I had some earlier when I made them. Okay. I feel good. And we've been making this for years and years and years, the salmon mousse. So
That's
we know what that
most
tastes like.
excellent. That
It
is
is
most
delicious.
excellent. Let's say hi to some of the
Yep.
people in chat here.
Absolutely.
Tom, Katie, Christina, Brenny, Molly, and Ken is joining us from Brisbane. Ken is rubbing it in our face. He says, "Hey everyone, I'm coming in from Australia where the holidays are looking like 90 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Summer days."
Fabulous. Wow. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. Hopefully, Katie gave you an idea. Maybe you can do one of these for tonight. I don't know. You have enough time to get this all done. But for next time. Okay. And, this just a few quick ideas for the holidays. They don't, we did this in just over an hour. Imagine if you really, were in your own kitchen, you could do all this, in a couple of hours pretty easily.
Can you take this out too?
And yeah, we'll take that one out. There's the brie. Okay. And maybe we'll put that on a plate. I don't know if we want to cut it yet. We might.
Yeah.
Why not? Huh? I can cut it right on the platter. I need a bigger plate than that. No, I need this. This is going to make a mess.
Fine.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
One last. And again, thank you all for joining us. Make sure when we're done here that you hit that like button and save it and get your alarm bells, all the things that we need in order so you can keep coming back over and over and over
If you
again.
want, you can put a dollop of cherry on top.
And Aortic Hope is run by volunteers, so all survivors. So as you all know, so donations are welcome. You can go to aortichope.org and make donations there, and also look at our events calendar and see all the other things that are going on. There's pretty much something happening every single day, whether it's a support group or a program like mine, or qigong or mindfulness or something else. Meet the doctors, all sorts of things that are always happening. So plenty to do on this YouTube channel. That's why you want to get your reminders and your alarms for the Aortic Hope YouTube live channel, and also go to theaortichope.org. So here's our brie. Oh, baby. Come on, why am I? There we go. Nice baked brie with that. Oh, get there. Coming out with that cherry jam in there. You take that and a little bit on the toast. This is French double cream, just to let you know. Okay.
And the cheesecakes are
There.
almost done.
Now you can see how it looks, all nice and melted. And underneath it, because we turned it over, is all that beautiful jam. You can do it on both sides if you wish. And if you like brie, this is absolutely delicious. A wonderful way to go. We'll leave that right there because I'm sure Mindy's going to eat it.
Well, can I turn this over in this pan?
Yeah, you need to because it's stuck. So just leave it for a little
I
bit.
will.
And I think, can you wait a minute and say
just
goodbye to
got
our
it.
guests?
I can, but it doesn't
We're
come.
big wonderful, you know? Oh my gosh.
Ah,
Okay. Well, I think I said all that needs to be said. I appreciate you for joining us tonight. I know we're a little over, but that's okay. You know, this is the holidays.
hopefully you got some new ideas for your festival of whatever's, whether
Right.
it's whatever holiday you celebrate or not. Or you
Yep.
just want to entertain yourself. It works too.
Yeah. So remember, all these are adaptable. So if you don't have salmon, you can use tuna. You can use any other fish
You
that
can
you
use
have.
sardines if
Right.
you happen to like
You can
sardines.
fill the phyllo with anything and everything. Spinach filling that. So let your imagination go crazy, or look up things to do with phyllo. Hey, what an
Remember,
idea.
if you use spinach, it's best to use frozen chopped.
That has been squeezed dry. So
Squeezed
that's another
until
story.
there's nothing left.
We're not going to do another whole cooking lesson here. Okay. But all right. Thank you very much. And come join us next week. We're a little bit off schedule here. So next week on Thursday night, I'll be back at 6 o'clock. Mindy will be out of
He'll
town.
be solo.
And I'll be doing a New Year's Day brunch. All good things to enjoy on brunch that morning after. Great. Okay. Thank you very much. And good
Have
night.
a great holiday season.
Good night from the Aortic Kitchen.